Okay, season 2 games for Alice in Borderlands. At this point, I have just finished watching season 3, so I will need to go through season 3 games again just to get sort of properly what my thoughts are on that. But as a whole, I do think season 2 has probably the best games in the whole of the series put together. In sixth place is Checkmate, where you've got the Queen of Spades with against the other team, and in this there should be that initial logic of no matter who she changes onto her team, it it just needs to get them to change back. But of course, once that survival mode kicks in, they're thinking, okay, well, I'm happy to sacrifice a child if it means me surviving. And it takes quite a bit of effort to prove otherwise, because this isn't just a case of saving the good people. This is the fact that if we can defeat the Queen, that's another step closer to completing all the face cards. So I like the whole concept around that. But the actual game itself, just chasing around the what looks like a steel construction site or something, isn't overly exciting. So that's why it's in sixth place. In fifth place was the Queen of Croquet. I think that's what they called it, but the one where they came across the Queen of Hearts at the end. And I did like the whole bit with him trying to convince them that he's in a mental institution and this isn't real, because of course the initial concept was, oh, you just got to complete 3 games, it doesn't matter whether you win or not, you just got to complete them, this is far too easy. And then of course we see why it's not actually that easy. But the first time I watched it, hearing the lies when she came up with, oh, it's actually all in the future and it's like aliens and stuff like that, you're like, oh my God, okay, this is what's happening. And then you're like, okay, no, you made it up. And so for re-watching it, it doesn't have that same effect. And, I'm not really the biggest fan of Mira's character, the Queen of Hearts. But it's still, it is good. It does feel like that big boss level being up on top of that roof. And, the fact that once they've made it through that was the end of the season and they went home effectively. So yeah, it's good, just not, fifth place is fair enough. In fourth place was the King of Spades game. I don't know if it had an actual name to it, but of course it was all set all around Tokyo, which I did really like that it was this is something that propped up obviously a few times throughout the whole series, and it was a case of you can't just run and hide and hope you survive him attacking you. You've got to actually find a way to defeat them, otherwise you're not going to win against all the face cards. And yeah, it certainly added this level of excitement getting everyone involved, and it was quite creepy in a way when he was sort of sneaking up in the car at the beginning and what have you. But as a game goes, obviously there was no overall structure. They didn't enter a game arena and have these rules and all the rest of it. It was just a chase around the streets. Third place was the beauty contest, and this is just the gameplay where you had to select between 0 and 100, and they do the average, but then times that by 0.8. And okay, this is something you could probably try and recreate at home without the acid. And I love Shishia. He is one of my favourite characters in the whole thing, and I love seeing him get really, really clever with this, and it was just brilliant, and that's why it's up high on my list. But yeah, I think it's just the acid. Sometimes that was a little bit too much to cope with, and I'm someone that can cope with gore, because some of my favourite programs like Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, I am, I'm fine with that. But this was just, it was a little bit too much. They could have had a different method of eliminating the players. But I also really liked the bit right at the end with that King of Diamonds, how he actually sacrificed himself, which you wouldn't think that they would do that. The whole point is to actually for them to win. And you really then get to see the humanity behind these face card players. In second place was Osmosis, the King of Clubs game. And again, as the gameplay itself goes, I really liked it. This is something that sort of actually reminds me again of when I used to do like Laser Quest, because you had the base units that you can get more points on and stuff like that. And this is something that I just found really, really intense, especially for Tata. And I just thought the whole thing just worked so well. And again, seeing that humanity behind the face card player, I just really like it. This is something I happily watch over and over again. And in first place, Solitary Confinement. Again, Shishia, just wow. And it was the fact that not only this is a tense game in itself, because we're looking again at the psychology, that people were just killing others off without really thinking about it. And Shishio, as brilliant as he is, he knew who to work with and who not, and he's such a great observer of what people's behaviors are like. And the fantastic twist at the end of the fact that he knew who it was, and he was working with two others on it, that we didn't really even see him interact with them, I don't think. And that, I thought that was just a brilliant twist to show the viewers, and a great game in itself. The fact that they could probably be there for months on end, but I think they knew that they would be at some point that they would speed it up and start, killing off the other players.